So when we talk about the perceptions, there is also a word called the free will. So are we the free will or our life is predestined?
When a baby is offered a food plate, when it is offered, is there any option?
She might have.
When it is understood as an offering, it is both ways. You can offer yourself to the divine being, and the divine being can offer you an opportunity. It's an opportunity, not the thing. It's an opportunity for enlightenment. Mother is feeding the baby with the enlightenment, not with bread and butter. But it is visible as bread and butter. Mother wants baby's enlightenment, not just quenching the belly. Is it right or not? Mother always aims at the enlightenment of the baby. Is she not feeding the baby? Does the baby have any option or not? It seems to be. It seems to. When it is offered always the best. So once you understand the offered is best, the offer is always best, then it will just follow. The baby is always happy in the mother's lap. Why? Anything that happens in the lookout of the mother is always good for me. Can't we be like that in the lap of the God?
We can be.
But we are not. Let me explore, please. Just like the baby. Let me explore. Okay, what the mother says. Okay, go ahead. Like the way the divine being is also in you as well as physical beingness. So the divine being guides you as a mother and your physical beingness follows it as a baby. If you are able to understand only the physical beingness, then you are always a baby. If you understand your divine beingness, then you are the mother, the divine mother. That's what Paramahamsa says. And nee ammichinave kada. If she doesn't give, who can give you? The mother nature can't give you. Where can you get? You cannot get somewhere else. Everything, a boon or a curse that is given is always from the nature. But the boon and curse are in your physical view, not in the divine being. It is always a boon. There is no curse at all. So try to understand at that level and be beyond is the notation given by the Upanishad, by the Veda. That always be beyond. Never be entangled with a boon or curse. If you are entangled, then you are a limited version. Never be at that level. Be beyond.
Like you stress about the Vedas and the Upanishads. So according to you, are the Vedas and Upanishads worthy or is it the need of the 21st century people?
From where we have counted the 21st century? That means you have counted only 2100s. This earth is there from what time? 400 crore years. Can you say the wisdom is only in 2100 years?
Beyond that.
Then how your 2100 years are counted? Wisdom is the primordial principle of the nature. If you understand, that's fine. If you can't understand, that's also fine with the nature. It won't let you out. It takes you always in. That's the principle of the wisdom. The baby does something wrong. Will mother let her go out of the entire lookout? No. Likewise, the mother nature as well as the Paramatman, the Brahman, is all pervasive and omniscient. When it is omniscient, how can you count the hundreds of years? It is right before the nature, right after the nature. Adi Madhyantarahita. That's no beginning, that's no ending. That is the eternal reality. Now you can count 2100s, which is a fraction of the timeline. The timeline itself that you have drawn is a very limited version. How you can count it? You cannot. If I ask you one simple question, you are sitting on a fried pan. How do you feel the time? Every minute is an year. You're sitting in a flower bed. Then a day is a minute. What's the change? Only your feeling. The feeling cannot decide the timelines. Time is different. There are two things. We have made our own methodologies of understandings. The methodologies of understandings may vary time to time, but the eternal timeline never changes. That's always there. Because the cosmos has come out, is visible in that eternal timeline, not in your just proposed philosophical, theosophical, and whatever you name it, ever-changing timelines. It cannot be counted in days and minutes, as well as years, as well as centuries. The centuries are just a mark on a great wall of sky. The sky is a wall if you count. The centuries are just a mark on the wall. How you can count it? There are so many stars in the sky. And how you can count? The 21st century, if you say, is just nothing but a juxtaposing way. There is a great principle, juxtaposition, in optimetry. What is that? You know it?
No.
Oh. So, every human being is always, rather every jiva is driven away by the juxtaposition. That means, if a gulab jam is kept before you, you get oozing in your mouth.
Yes.
How?
The temptation of it.
Your mind has got juxtaposed. Mind entered into the gulab jam, got the great memory out, and you got the same feeling when you have taken it in the past period. And your stimuli has started its own working. This is called juxtaposition. Can you say it as eternal? If you remove that gulab jam and keep on bitter gourd, then the stimuli is different.
Yes.
So all your centuries are nothing but your stimuli. You cannot count that eternality on this way.
But why are the Vedas and Upanishads important for a youngster or for a youth, and how important it plays a role in one's life?
I ask you one question. Why you should learn that earth is rotating? It's not dependent on your intelligence. If you think that it is rotating, is it rotating? And if you don't think that is it stopping, then why you are learning earth is rotating? That's the fact. So, Veda depicts the fact. Veda means Vaidam. Whatever is the fact that is told. If you understand, if you doesn't understand, it doesn't bother. I understood. Very happy. I don't understand. Please try again. It may not happen in this a limited version of 100 years. Please take again a birth. There is always one great boon from Ishvara. Let us try again. Any unfulfilled, fill up the blanks are left over in a human being's life. Then what to do? Please try again. Is it right, Dons? When the teaching is taught, you are unable to learn it. What the teacher says, please try again. The same thing the master says. The same thing the God says. The same thing Mother Earth says. Please try again. So what is that? It's a fact. The same way, the Veda always depicts the fact. Whether you may decode it or doesn't decode it, that depends upon your own intelligence. But the fact doesn't change. In the same way, the Upanishad is a great teaching, great saying, rather a great understanding. What is the fact? How it can be understood. Upanishads deals with how it can be understood. How it can be understood? There are so many ways if you say. But the Upanishad says there is only one way. There are no many ways at all. There is only one way. What is it? What is it? Not how. What is it?
Yes.
It's grace. You are at the grace of your mother. You are at the grace of your father. You are at the grace of a master. You are at the grace of a God. That is why those four are graceful always in your life. And you are at the mercy of them. Without those four, you are not there. Whatever you may call as intelligence or intellectual way or whatever you express about yourself, there is a mercy of those four. Is it not? That's the reality. If you want to say the same thing in bowed hands, with bowed head, then you are the real personality who are gifted with that boon. If you don't bow your head, then before your mother or before your father or before the masters as well as before the God, if you don't bow your head, that I am so intelligent, then are you merciful? Is your life is graceful? Can it be a proper example for the coming generations? Never, 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 ever. So be graceful to the great masters as well as your parents and to the eternal reality. The God is eternal reality. You can name it or form it. The name and form doesn't depict the eternal reality. That's there or I am that. Or that's there and that. That is why Tattvamasi is the primary principle of the teaching of Upanishad. So the Upanishad always goes like this notations. It won't make you just go here and there. Don't go here and there. What a mother says to baby while learning, the baby wants to move here and there. What she says? Hey, don't go here and there. Sit and learn. The same thing Upanishad says. Just sit before the master and learn. Don't go here and there. Don't get distracted. If you get distracted either by your own intelligence or by the world, then or else by your instinct, or else by your trait. There are so many inward things in you. You may get distracted even in your own dream, even in your own sleep also. The Upanishad goes up to that way, even in your death also. It says furthermore, even in your rebirth also you are distracted. It goes beyond the nature, beyond the universe. It explains beyond the beyond the beyond the beyond. That's why Upanishad is the Siras, Veda Siras. Sarvendriyanam Sirah Pradhanam. Why? Your wisdom is always not at your foot. But you always bow before the foot by bowing your head, bending your head. Why? For the grace, for the mercy, for the eternal understanding of the eternal reality. Because that is your primary nature of the human.
Lastly, according to you, what is the absolute goal of the human being?
To be absolute. Check always, am I absolute? That's all. You will be there. Is your great-grandfather absolute?
Amen.
It is relative. Because you are there is father, there is grandfather, there is great-grandfather. It is always relative. So once you think about anything in this cosmos, it is always relative. When you think beyond, it's always absolute. Try to have that level of vision. Then only it's possible. Question always, what is absolute? Then you will find it. Don't think, don't entangle, encircle yourself in the reality, in the relativity. You are getting down that reality into the circled, cyclic, linear relativity. Relativity has got three principles. It is both linear, the cyclic, and also circling, encircling. So you are always drawing on your own circles, and the whirlpool is ready. It will catch you. Be out of that whirlpool. You will be absolute.
So thank you so much, Swamiji, for giving your wisdom, for sharing so much of knowledge today. So lastly, before winding up this episode, I wanted to give a message to all the audience watching this episode.
Be a spiritual dynamo. Harihi Om, Sri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.